Karl Reinhardt had always prided himself on his work ethic, a tall man with silvering hair and a demeanor of calm authority. He had spent his career ensuring that the properties under his care were safe, efficient, and welcoming. The historic Altbau building he managed in Berlin was more than just bricks and mortar to him. It was a piece of history and the sanctuary for its tenants. But one winter, the city's frigid winds carried more than just frost. They brought with them an ordeal that would push Karl to the brink, testing his resolve, his reputation, and his very identity. It began innocently enough, a call from Frau Schmidt on the third floor. Herr Reinhardt, there's a scratching sound in my walls. Could it be mice? Karl reassured her with his usual confidence. It's the cold, Frau Schmidt. Animals sometimes seek shelter indoors. I'll handle it. Setting traps and sealing cracks had always worked in the past, but this time, the scratching didn't stop. By the following week, the complaints multiplied. Herr Fischer, the young musician on the second floor, claimed he heard chittering sounds at midnight. An elderly couple, the Bauers, found their pantry raided, with bread loaves gnawed down to crumbs. Karl's first inkling of something more sinister came when he discovered a chewed electrical cable in the boiler room. The sparking wires were dangerously close to igniting. It wasn't just an inconvenience anymore, it was a threat to the safety of the building. Karl brought in pest control expert Herr Müller, a man with a grizzled face and a reputation for tackling the toughest infestations together. They inspected the building with thermal cameras and sensors. When they reached the basement, Müller stopped abruptly. Karl, this isn't mice. Setting traps and sealing cracks had always worked in the past, but this time, the scratching didn't stop. By the following week, the complaints multiplied. Herr Fischer, the young musician on the second floor, claimed he heard chittering sounds at midnight. An elderly couple, the Bauers, found their pantry raided, with bread loaves gnawed down to crumbs. The camera revealed a network of tunnels behind the walls, pulsating with movement. When they peeled back a section of drywall, the reality was worse than either could have imagined. Behind the walls, hidden in the shadows, was a colony of rats larger and more aggressive than any Karl had ever seen. These weren't ordinary pests, they were Rattus norvegicus, an invasive species known for their resilience and ferocity. The colony had been thriving for years, feeding off scraps and using the building's old sewer line as their highway. The smell was overpowering, an acrid blend of urine, decay, and mildew. Müller, who had seen it all, paled. This is a war zone, not an infestation. As news of the infestation spread, fear and anger gripped the tenants. Frau Müller, a single mother, packed her bags and left within hours, claiming she'd seen a rat in her toddler's crib. The Bauers barricaded their apartment door with towels, hoping to keep the vermin out. Karl found himself at the center of a storm. Meetings with tenants turned into shouting matches. You promised this building was safe. How could you let this happen? Karl's assurances rang hollow, and his usual confidence crumbled. Every complaint felt like a personal failure, every accusation a dagger to his pride. Müller proposed a radical solution. The building had to be evacuated, sealed off, and fumigated with industrial-grade chemicals. The process would take weeks, costing tens of thousands of euros. Karl faced a dilemma. The building owner, a distant businessman, was unwilling to fund the operation, dismissing the infestation as manageable. The tenants couldn't afford to stay elsewhere for long, and Karl himself, torn between his duty and his dwindling savings, felt the weight of an impossible choice. In the end, Karl took out a personal loan to cover the initial costs. The tenants reluctantly agreed to evacuate, some leaving in tears for the first time in decades. The Grand Altbau stood empty, its windows darkened like hollow eyes. The fumigation process was grueling. Workers in hazmat suits pumped the building full of toxic gas, sealing every crack and crevice. The fog seeped into the hidden tunnels, suffocating the colony. But the rats didn't go down quietly. Some burrowed deeper, emerging in neighboring buildings. Others died in the walls, leaving behind a stench that would take weeks to clear. Every day, Karl visited the site, his heart heavy as he watched the fog swirl around the building he had once been so proud of. When the fumigation ended, the workers unearthed the root cause: a cracked sewer line beneath the building. The opening had allowed the rats to invade, using the warm, damp tunnels as their breeding ground. It was a maintenance issue Carl had overlooked, and the realization hit him like a freight train. When the tenants returned, the building was nearly unrecognizable. The walls had been repaired, the wiring replaced, and the air scrubbed clean, but the scars of the infestation lingered in the tenants' wary glances, in the empty apartment where Frau Muller had lived, in Carl's sleepless nights. Some tenants forgave him, others didn't. Carl's reputation was tarnished, but he refused to give up. He attended seminars on pest management, upgraded the building's maintenance protocols, and worked tirelessly to ensure every tenant felt safe again. Months later, Carl received a letter from Herr, who had moved to a care home. Dear Carl, though the infestation was a nightmare, your efforts to protect us did not go unnoticed. You stood by us when others would have walked away, reminded us what it means to care for a community. Even when the odds are against you, thank you for fighting for our home. Carl read the letter 3 times, his vision blurred with tears. In that moment, he realized that his greatest accomplishment wasn't the building's restoration, but the trust he had rebuilt with the people who called it home. The story of Carl's battle against the infestation became a legend among Berlin's facility managers. It was a cautionary tale about vigilance, a testament to resilience, and a reminder that even the most skilled professionals are human. Years later, as Carl walked past the now thriving Goldbau, he saw children playing in the courtyard, their laughter filling the air, and for the first time in a long time, he smiled, not because the building was perfect, but because it was alive again. Property and facility management perspective. From a property and facility management standpoint, this story highlights the importance of proactive maintenance, regular inspections, and swift action in addressing issues before they escalate. The infestation could have been mitigated if the sewer line had been regularly inspected and repaired. A more comprehensive pest management system had been in place. Building tenants were educated on proper waste disposal to reduce the chances of attracting pests. This situation underlines the complexities of managing older buildings, Altbau, which often have hidden vulnerabilities like outdated infrastructure and concealed cavities. Moral perspective. Morally, Carl's commitment to the tenants, despite immense challenges, showcases the ethical responsibility of facility managers to prioritize safety and well-being over convenience or profit. Key moral lessons include accountability. Carl took responsibility for the infestation, even when it wasn't entirely his fault. Empathy. His decision to fund the fumigation himself reflects his care for the tenants' welfare. Integrity. Despite being criticized and blamed, Carl remained steadfast in his efforts to resolve the crisis. Legal perspective. The story also reveals the legal responsibilities of property and facility managers in Germany and globally. Duty of care. Property managers are legally obligated to provide a safe living environment. The infestation posed risks such as fire hazards, chewed wires, health issues, and structural damage, which could have led to lawsuits. Tenant rights. Under German law, tenants have the right to a habitable living environment. If such conditions aren't met, they can withhold rent or demand compensation. Regulatory compliance. Failure to address the infestation could have led to fines from local authorities or even the condemnation of the property. Documentation. Legal disputes often rely on documented evidence of inspections, maintenance, and corrective actions. Carl's initial oversight in sewer maintenance could have been used against him in court. Lessons learned for property and facility managers. Proactive maintenance. Regular inspections of critical infrastructure, e.g. sewer lines, insulation, wiring are essential, especially in older buildings. Comprehensive pest management. Implementing preventive measures, such as sealing entry points and regular pest control visits, can save significant time and money. 3. Tenant communication. Keeping tenants informed builds trust and ensures cooperation during crises. 4. Building owners invest in infrastructure. Ignoring maintenance issues to save costs often results in larger expenses and potential legal liabilities. Support your managers. Providing financial and logistical support is critical during emergencies. For tenants' responsibility in waste management, proper waste disposal can minimize the risk of attracting pests. Early reporting, promptly reporting issues like strange noises or damaged infrastructure allows for quicker resolutions. The story encapsulates the complexities of property and facility management. It highlights that while technical skills are crucial, empathy, accountability, and ethical decision-making are equally vital. Carl's experience is a reminder that hidden issues can emerge at any time, but with vigilance, teamwork, and the commitment to doing what's right, even the toughest challenges can be overcome. If you find this story enlightened, please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel for more content on property, facility and real estate management business tips. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. God bless you.